Wow. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? This is definitely not what I expected to hop on here and do, but some events came to light, let's just say, and here we are. We're going to talk about WTF is going on right now, basically, is what we're going to talk about. My mind is blown. I have to start with this is all very, very, very recently channeled information as of a couple hours ago. So, well, really, actually, as of like half an hour ago, when I sat down to really deep dive into it. Let's just begin with where do we begin? I don't know. So, right now, I'm sure you guys know, I was chatting with you before this. Facebook is down, Instagram is down, parts of the internet are down, the stock market is insane right now. Declassified documents are being declassified. Shit's hitting the fan. And I first want to say that everything in this video is channeled, okay? I have not gone to any external resources to receive this information. That being said, this is not all of the information. I cannot tell you that this is the full picture or the end all to be all. I can say that I have a couple of pieces that, if resonate with you, are for you. If these do not resonate with you, then that's okay, it's not for you. Today we are going fringe, and I know that my reptilian video a couple weeks ago was fringe, but this is this is pretty insane. This is pretty insane for my standards. Most of you are very familiar with the light and dark battle that has been taking place on the planet. This light and dark battle has been taking place on the planet for quite some time. For millennia, but really truly at this point in time, 2012 was the rift and the shift in timelines that brought us to this trajectory of I don't know what to call it, like the light winning. And because so many of us are awakening, the dark side is basically scrambling to catch up. All right. So that being said, I also intuitively decided to bring us all together for a live meditation, but it could also potentially be a battle. I actually feel like it's going to be more of a battle than a meditation, but we will for sure get into a meditation before the battle. That is going to happen on October 11th, right before the Galactic Federation Summit. So hopefully after the battle, I'm going to say what I channeled today, and I'm not going to hold back on what I know, but I also want to deep dive into everything that's going on for October 11th with the GFL. So we're going to do a battle. That's totally free. My Zoom capacity is 3,000. Last time we did a battle, we were at max capacity, 3,000. So I highly recommend grab the link. I did post it in the little chat. You guys can scroll up and maybe grab that link and repost it. I will also post that Zoom link, the free Zoom link for the meditation and battle on the 11th. I will post it in the description of this video as well. So I think it's so important now more than ever before to come together and emit this energy and frequency. Oddly enough, I had two people who are intuitive, let's call them psychic, in connection, who reached out to me in the past 2 days to basically say, hey, shit's going down, get prepared. And I kind of came back with this statement, which is well, I haven't channeled anything, so I have to basically tune into what you've been channeling in order to validate it, right? Because I just don't take anything that I hear or anything that's presented to me as such. So yesterday, I kind of came back to my friends that, look, I'm going to wait to channel this. I have such a busy week. This is not the week to channel something crazy happening. Of course, you can't choose it. So last night, I go to bed, and right beside me, I close my eyes, right there is Sasha. If you guys don't know who Sasha is, she is a beautiful reptilian woman. And for like sometimes when I astral travel, remote view, or sometimes when I'm contacted, it's so visceral. Like I don't know how else to say that, but it's so real. Like it's so last night, like I I tried going to bed anyway, and she was right there. I could see her like giant yellow eye, her scales, like she was really close to me. And I said, "What's going on? Like what's happening?" She says, "Elizabeth, like we need your help urgently." And I said, "Okay." So she's one of the good guys, one of the good reptilians. She goes around, destroys bases, all of that great stuff. So immediately she takes me into one of their underground bases. This is where all of the reptilian rebels are living and existing and training. If you guys have been to the Galactic Federation meetings, they have been training down there to battle the darkness. So these reptilian rebels have been working with white light energy rather than battling in the traditional way that they're used to. So anyway, so she like urgently like gets my attention last night. She brings me in and she said the word ambushed. And she said, "Elizabeth, we got ambushed." And I said, "What do you mean you got ambushed?" And she said, "They came after us." And she gave me the whole scene of what happened. It's just so wild. And so basically, these other reptilian beings, they came in, and it's weird because it almost feels like, no, I'm just going to say it. It literally feels like these like darker reps, were able to manipulate their physical form, which I guess is not surprising given the fact that they are shapeshifters. But I saw this scene of like all of these rebels underground battling, working with their white light energy, raising their frequency for this kind of battle. And all of a sudden, these giant, dinosaur rep, like all dressed in kind of military gear, pop through the roof of this cavern, this underground cave. They pop through the roof, like they just come right down, which was really wild. I didn't know that they could do that, but then it kind of makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, so they come down and they start like, once again, an ambush. It was an ambush on the rebels. And it was really wild. So Sasha tells me that there was a lot of casualties, is what she said. So a lot of casualties. And I'm just going to explain it. Once again, if you guys have been, if you're in the know of the GFL kind of summits, then you'll be very up to date on this battle. So basically, the dark reps were using dark energy. They weren't even fighting traditionally. They were using dark energy. It was almost like a form of chi, like building up this chi energy, but it was building up this darkness and then pushing the darkness into these rebels. And so the rebels who were not sure enough within themselves, this is really important, you guys. The rebels who were not sure enough within themselves, in their own unconditional light capacity, basically got ripped apart by the darkness. Now, the reason why this imagery is really important for us as human beings, as hybrid beings, is because these are the kind of games that they play. Now, it might be a family member attacking you out of nowhere, and you're like, what? This is weird. Like, why is this person saying that I'm an awful being and whatever? Just like really messed up stuff. These are psychic attacks. These are the games that they play. They play these games with dark frequency, dark energy. All right. And if you are not sure enough in your own ability to hold unconditional love frequency, then unfortunately you will be manipulated. I'm not going to say that you're going to be more or less targeted. If you are a starseed, if you're on this channel, if you are, working for the light, which pretty much all of you are, then you are going to be targeted by the dark. And I think a lot of us have had psychic attacks and been targeted in the past couple of months. This goes into so many symptoms. It gets really insane. We're going to talk about the Hadron Collider. We're going to talk about Trump. I mean, it gets really, really weird. It gets weirder. It gets really weird. But I want to say that for so many of you who have been experiencing exhaustion, extreme fatigue and exhaustion in the past, honestly, what I channeled was since April, it's because you have been called into battle. It is because you have been called into battle, and you've been battling. You've been doing the double shift. This is the information that I've received. You have been working the double shift in the physical and in the non-physical at night, all right? So I just want to say, actually, on behalf of the GFL and myself, thank you for pulling that double shift. Thank you for being exhausted during the day because you're helping out at night. We really need you. We really appreciate you. And that's why I want to get all of you as much as possible to this battle, to this meditation, to this huge white light blast happening on the 11th, and then join that with the information directly from the GFL. I think that we're going to be able to unpack a lot. Knowledge is freedom. Knowledge is sovereignty. Knowledge will set us all free from this matrix. So let's get into some of that knowledge today. Okay, reptilian ambush. After that experience happened last night, so some of the rebels were able to basically transmute the dark ones to the light, and some of the dark ones were able to tear apart the light ones with the dark. All right, so it was kind of, honestly, it was pretty even last night. I asked Sasha, I said, why did this happen? Like, why? Why did you guys get ambushed? And she said that they are trying to take us out, including starseeds, light workers, light warriors. They are trying to take down the light before they... Once again, this is very new for me. Please, as always, use your discernment, see if it resonates, take it or leave it. This is really wild. Okay. Basically, what has been happening, what I channeled since April 20th, for whatever reason, that date specifically, the elites are using quantum computing technology, it gets pretty wild, to shift the timeline. And they've been using this quantum computing technology this time around anyway, since April 20th. They effed up our entire reality back in 2012, doing the exact same thing with the Hadron Collider or Hydron Collider, whatever you want to call it, back in 2012. That's what happened. And they used the one in Switzerland or Sweden. I always mix those two up. What I channeled, I instantly got brought to this facility, you could call it. It is not the one in Switzerland because I didn't recognize it, and it felt a lot smaller than the one in Switzerland. This is a much smaller Hadron Collider. What they have been doing, they have been following through with experimentation. And I'll tell you why this information hasn't come through earlier. They have been doing experimentation solely for the purpose of shifting us to a different timeline where we are not awakening. So first of all, when I learned of this information half an hour ago, I was really stoked. I was really excited, okay? Because what that means is they're so scared. And every time I'm in battle, every time I'm like, I don't know, like confronted with that energy, they will totally try and make me believe and make us believe that they've got it, that the dark is winning, that we've got no chance, because they understand that our belief creates this matrix reality. And what they are struggling to do is to harness our belief. And that is why there's so much fear. Now, these experimentations on this smaller Hadron Collider have been ramping up. They have been ramping up in the past month. What that means is we are shifting in and out of timelines at a rapid pace where we are floating, we're lucid, old paradigms are popping up, polarity is getting more intense. They're messing with a lot of things. Now, the internet going down, Facebook, I even heard of like energy or like electricity shortages all around the world, gas shortages. They're talking about food shortages now, right? So, hold on, let me just gather my thoughts. I feel like I wanted to complete the last thing before I wanted to move forward. Oh yeah, okay, let's go back. I want to go back to the Hadron Collider because this is important. So I was really excited to know finally, like, and of course the GFL has told us this, that like, hey guys, like the light is winning and they're scared. And I put out a video saying they're scared. So, but to actually have that confirmation that they are so scared, they're looking into technology, they're looking into utilizing technology. So here's one of the most important parts about that. They're scared, number one, for sure. That's really exciting because they know that they're losing. I want to let you know that the reason why they are losing is because they do not have the population. They do not have, they don't have the numbers on their side. And they're scared about not having the numbers. If enough of us get together and project unity consciousness, project food and water and safety and security and that unity for everyone all across the planet, then we're going to win. We are going to take it home. If we are constantly in this battle of the us versus them, and of course, we channeled this in one of the Galactic Federation summits just a month or so ago, maybe even in September, because that was the craziest Galactic Federation event I've ever had. But basically, they're saying that their last ditch effort, their last push to control us is the V and Rona. Their last ditch effort to control us is the V and Rona. And guess what, you guys? We're still not able to be controlled. Now, I have to mention this because I have to mention this every time. The control that I'm talking about is not the control in what we are allowed to do or not. The control that I'm talking about has nothing to do with the physical reality. The control that I'm talking about has nothing to do with whether you take the V or not. It has nothing to do with that. The control that I'm talking about is the fear. If you are in fear, you are susceptible to being controlled. It is as plain as day as that. And so they're utilizing something like the V, shiny object over here, to control you through fear, not choice, fear. And it is ultimately our choice to have that fear. I digress, okay? That is just such an important statement to make. We are here, and I'm hoping that at this point you've neutralized a lot of that fear that maybe you've had in the past. Besides the point. They, the elites, the reptilians, the shapeshifters, whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, they have to use technology to win this battle of vibrational frequency because they do not have a strong enough vibration. The reason, so of course they're lower vibrational, and that's just that group of reps are lower vibrational. They are obsessed with control. They are obsessed with greed. They are obsessed with all of that, of having more. That is their greatest downfall. If it comes to two epic, corrupt rep leaders, guess what they're going to do? They're going to fight each other. If it comes to you being a leader for the light and me being a leader for the light, let's stand together. Let's hold hands. Like, let's do this together, because the end goal is always the same with the light. The end goal with the darkness is always an individual, always an independent goal for the individual. They do not have the numbers. So they are utilizing, and they decided to utilize the Hadron Collider as their mechanism to shift the timelines just like they did back in 2012. Once again, this is brand new. This is brand new information. I asked, my first question, I went right to the Galactic Federation. My first question was, sorry, but why didn't we know this before? Like, why did we not know that they were utilizing this to shift timelines? And we could have done something about it back in April. Like, we could have done something about it. And so, okay, there's like two different things here. Oh yeah, one was that they were able to cloak themselves. I don't know how else to say that, but they were basically able to keep some of that experimentation under wraps or cloak, like they've got different devices. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I totally forgot about this. When I was in the room, I went, I remote viewed. I'm actually surprised I didn't get kicked out, but I think shit's kind of breaking down right now. So they were a little bit preoccupied. So once again, right before this video, I went to this smaller Hadron Collider. I couldn't really tell where I was in the world. It was underground. It was in this facility. It looked very, I guess, scientific. I was in this kind of control panel room, and there's this glass window in front of me, and this is basically, I think, where the experiments are done. And there's huge, like I just saw huge flashes of light. And so in this room, in this control panel room, there's another device. This is really insane. This other device is a time machine. And what they've been doing, apparently, since April, what I saw is that any timeline they shift into that does not align with their intention, they are quickly kind of turning the dial back on this time machine about whatever it was, 25 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever, but just long enough for them to change the frequency of the experiment of shifting the timeline, right? So it's a lot going on. It sounds like literally a sci-fi movie. And so then I said to the Galactic Federation, then I'm pissed, right? Then I said, sorry, it literally gets me emotional and kind of worked up. But I said to the Security Council, I said, this is wrong. This is so wrong. They should not be allowed to do this. Does this not go against free will? Does this not go against laws of the universe? Like, does this not go against what you guys as the Galactic Federation are supposed to protect us from? This bullshit. Like, this is not right. This is what they said. They said, so I said, why didn't you stop them? Like, I was pissed. They said that, yeah, this is really interesting. They said that their experimentation was meant to be. And I'm going to go into that, and they gave me an image about what actually was happening. I want to backtrack to give you a fuller picture. Basically, what I channeled from the GFL back in 2012, because, you know, I don't know if you guys were in the same boat, but like I thought the world was ending. I was ready. I was prepared. My bathtub was full of water. And nothing happened. Yet, the ascension, the awakening, the development, the movement all picked up tenfold after 2012. A lot of us awakened 2012. And so what they told me way back then was that they had an experiment with the Hadron Collider, the big one in Switzerland. They opened up, I don't know if it's a black hole or some sort of, basically they shifted our timeline. So no, the world didn't end, but the reality that we knew it ended. And that was the moment. 2012 was the moment, based on their crazy experimentation, where the planet went from one frequency, one reality, and split into two separate frequencies. Basically, the GFL told me that because at the time of their experiment, and I don't know what their, I forget now what their goal was for that experiment. It was definitely something nefarious. But basically what happened was there was enough light workers and starseeds and individuals with a high vibration, whether they're awakened or not, or knowing that they are anything or not, their vibration was such that the world didn't go into complete chaos or destruction back in 2012. It shifted into these two different frequencies. That was the beginning of the two Earths. 2012 was the beginning of 3D and 5D. This is what I've channeled before. Once again, take it or leave it. So their plan actually got foiled a little bit. And as a matter of fact, now they started this battle between the high vibration and the low vibrational energies. Here we are again. Okay. So this is the information. So the GFL just told me about this one right now, that we are going to be able to take our power back. And what was really interesting, it was all a visual, so it's very difficult for me to explain. I want to see if I can maybe draw the visual. If not, I can try and explain it. Okay. I'm going to try and draw it. Just because. Okay. This pen isn't very bright, but this will work. All right. So check it out. So every line represents a different timeline, a different direction, path for humanity. Every circle represents a different shift within that timeline. Okay. What's happening with their new experimentations since April is they're shifting. When you shift the timeline so rapidly, okay, I have to go back to this. In between, so if I were to shift my timeline and choose to throw this pen across the room, I've shifted into the timeline where now my pen is across the room because I've made that choice. In between the shifting timelines, in between the solidity of the collective timelines, right here, do you see that? There's a gap right there in between these two solid timelines. Within that gap, we, all of us collectively, we enter into this very weird lucid state. This state where glitches happen, the state where time is weird. It speeds up, it slows down. What has happened, what the GFL told me when I was pissed off and I said, yo, why didn't you stop this? They basically told me, we didn't stop this because this is all a part of the plan. And I said, if this is all part of the plan, then don't you think that these, reptilian high-tech beings know that this is all a part of the plan? Like, how do they not understand that this is going to be detrimental for them? And the GFL said that they're so greedy, that they so desperately want to collapse the system, they will F with our reality until it is all screwed up in order to get to where they want to go. So they don't even realize, they're just so one-track mind about things, they don't even realize that this is actually a benefit. The reason why this is a benefit is because in between, and I'm getting chills, these little gaps of experimentation that they are doing to find this timeline where things shift for them, and it gets really crazy, but I have to say it. I'll leave that for a little while. But in between these little pockets, anything and everything exist. When they are doing these experiments, although we don't know and we can't really tell exactly when they're shifting it, we are able to manifest with our intention a new reality, a new possibility. And this, from that information, is when I basically knew that we have to come together. What I would recommend for you guys in the next month, join as many mass meditations as possible. Join as many unifying groups as possible. Come together with as many people as possible. It is our consciousness, it is our energy, it is our focus, it is our pure light, it is our unconditional love that is going to shift this into the positive. They are scrambling right now, okay? All right. Okay. So I mentioned this in my very last Q&A video that happened on Sunday. I guess yesterday. Oh my God. Okay. So basically the information that came through yesterday in this members only Q&A was they do not want the event. They do not want the solar flash to happen. Period. And I had to channel it in the moment, and I said, why is that? I would immediately associate something like a solar flash or a blackout or an event like that to happen. I would immediately associate with, it's got to be nefarious. It's a very shitty thing to happen to humanity, so it's got to be nefarious. But I was corrected yesterday, and basically the information is, if an event were to happen, a blackout, a solar flash were to happen, it would shut down the entire matrix system. It would allow us all to reset. They would lose every single ounce of control they think they have. So of course they don't want that kind of event to happen. So that was kind of an aha moment for me. And I know that some of the information is, yes, when and if this event happens, it accelerates humanity's growth. I mean, I've been channeling that for many years now. But I also kind of felt like, I don't know, I just kind of felt like the elite would benefit from it. And that is not the case. They are trying to prevent this shift from happening. So then my follow-up question to these timelines. I just want to see if I got all of the other information before I drop this freaking bomb on you. And I don't even know how I feel about it. So take it or leave it. But before I do that, I just want to go over all my notes here that I wrote down. Yes, okay. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I totally forgot I channeled that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you, but I'm gonna still wait for that. Okay. So how are all of these timeline hopping events, how is this affecting our body? These are the words that came through: time dilation, exhaustions, and pains. We are going through so many different frequencies, so many different timelines. Like, it's almost like you can imagine a TV channel flickering, right? This is what we're doing. Every flicker, every weird moment that you're experiencing is actually a new shift into a new timeline. Then can you imagine them having this time machine that basically reverses what they just did? So then we're all being sent back in time. So then the pen that I threw at the corner of the room, I didn't actually throw. And then I'm like, I thought I did that. Like, has anyone here been experiencing weird time things, weird glitches in the matrix, exhaustion in your body, like weird, like body aches and pains, like just weird, like what about like also psychic things, because all of a sudden we're getting removed from the matrix, right? Because we're just hopping through all these timelines. I mean, it's been a lot, like overwhelm, anxiety, stress to the nines, because believe it or not, we are trying to live our life and pay our effing bills. Well, these timelines are hopping. It's just insane. It's insane. Unconditional love is so important right now, all right? Okay, all right. So once again, I want to reiterate, we can utilize this for our benefit. This is all happening for a reason. Okay, another bomb to drop. They are opening other portals. And I was like, what? And so I got this image from the GFL, once again, right before this video, of them blasting these portals open. Like, it's almost like they drop this energy bomb, it ripples throughout the planet, and it activates and opens portals. But what they are attempting to do, so, okay, a little portal lesson. If a vortex or a portal or a stargate, whatever you want to call it, our chakras are that as well. If a portal or a vortex or a stargate is dormant, which is typically the case around the entire planet, if the portal is dormant, you can awaken the portal. A lot of us have been waking up portals. If you awaken the portal, well, let's just say this. The frequency in which you emit into the portal is the frequency that's going to be amplified from it. That is just the quantum physics of portals. It'll amplify. If you're in a shitty mood, your whole day collapses because you have a portal that's accidentally activated in your house. If you're in a great mood, your portal is activated in that way. They blasted all of these portals, not even just big ones, like little ones. Like, they're trying, I think a lot of the big ones, like think about Machu Picchu or Bear Lodge, all of these big portals, Mount Shasta, have all been opened by light warriors and light workers, especially in the past year or so. So they weren't even going after those big portals, and they've been opened in the light. They went after small portals. They blasted these huge negative, low vibrational energy bombs all around the planet to open up smaller portals in the dark frequency, in the dark energy. So what does this create? It creates an energetic doorway to deeper and darker realms. Wow. And August was especially that month. And Oh my goodness, I feel like crying right now. I don't know why. In July, the GFL told us that August was going to be a month where, what did they call it? Fear warfare is what they called it. And I mean, the variant came out and all these other things, came out or whatever. But I still felt like that wasn't it. I still felt like it was something deeper. Now I understand this is what happened. They started blasting the planet to open up small portals in low vibrational frequencies to open a doorway. I mean, you could call it a doorway to hell, but like unresolved spirits, dark entities, okay, all stepping through that doorway. And it made so much sense because almost everyone I know has gotten psychically attacked in the past couple of months. Then I had to ask the GFL, I said, why did they do this? I'm so curious. Like, why would they open these portals in this dark energy? I mean, obviously just more darkness in the world, but why did they do this? And they said, to distract the light workers. That's why. It was to distract the light workers from going into these other realms, from doing the work that we're doing. So if we're battling home issues, if we're battling current reality issues, if we're battling shit blowing up just here in our own space, if we don't feel safe in our space because we feel like we can't get to sleep or we're being attacked at night, then guess what? You're in your body. You are holding down your own fort. Oh, I'm getting chills. I'm literally getting chills. Wow, what an elaborate plan. What an elaborate plan. This is really wild. Okay. This is what I wrote down. They are opening up other portals to distract the helpers while they do this, while they're shifting the timelines, so that we're all battling. We don't realize that there's actually a real shit going on behind the scenes. They don't realize that they're really like messing. Oh yeah. Okay. One more thing. This is kind of comical. Like, honestly, like, it's probably not good to like feel like this is comical, but now they have just activated potentially hundreds of thousands of small portals all over the planet. What this is going to do is, like, you and I, all right, we're now going to transmute all these portals because we actually have this information. So thank you finally for the information. The individuals who are not awakened are going to get exposed to the dark side. I feel very excited about that, but it's not in a negative way. They're going to get exposed to the dark side. Yeah, it's going to suck, and hopefully, there's not suicide or depression or drug abuse or those kind of things, which definitely come along with that kind of attack. But the exposure to the dark side is going to allow average, everyday people to finally start to understand there's a hell of a lot more going on in our reality than what we thought before. Not only that beautiful exposure in a dark way, yes, okay, but they just opened up hundreds of thousands of portals that were dormant. So as long as we can band together, like, you know what? I'm kind of thinking that maybe on the 11th during this like meditation battle, maybe what we do is instead of targeting one location, one area, one portal, maybe we just maybe we play them at their own game. Like, maybe we just drop freaking white light bombs all over the planet. I'm getting chills again. And we just transmute all of their open portals. Like, thanks for doing the work for us. We'll just go ahead and we'll take it from here. Wow. The thing is, their greatest weakness is their ego. The greatest weakness that they have is the fact that they think that they are untouchable. It's the fact that they think they have technology and quantum computing, and they don't have consciousness. They do have consciousness. They don't have love. They don't have unconditional love. They don't have connection to pure source, which is infinite amounts of information. So I want to mention, two more things, and then I'm going to leave it there. One of the timelines that they have shifted into as of today, October 4th, or whatever day it is Facebook, Instagram, all of that shutting down. And I know that a part of that all shutting down, declassified documents, financial records, the apes winning in the financial stock market industry, like they're so scared right now. And all of this is accumulating together. And what was I going to say? Hold on. Oh, 1 second. Oh, right. Okay, yes. A big part of those shifts as well is not just the timelines, but it's also the white hats. There are individuals who are working for the GFL who are deep undercover. If you've been coming to the GFL events, you know that we have been collectively checking in with the white hats for quite some time. The ones boots on the ground, the spies, they have been embedded within every single sector of the planet. All politics, mass media, like you name it, they are embedded within that dynamic, that reality. And I think, every single time we tune into them, we're holding, we're waiting. It's been this freaking waiting game of like, when are you going to act? And then, wasn't it like in September GFL, where some of the white hats who were undercover were getting really worried because, I think that they were trying to get indoctrinated into the system, or they were getting forced into blood and sex rituals. Wow, so it actually happened. Like whatever happened, it broke. Like something broke, and finally there's this push of let's take down the system. Man, there's so much. Okay, so here's the final bomb that I'm going to drop. And then we're going to drop some bombs on the 11th. And then we're going to get some more information during the Galactic Federation live event. So please come to the free bomb drop-in first. All right, I've got the Zoom link. I will make sure I have the Zoom link in the description. I would post it to Instagram, but Instagram's down. And then check out the live Galactic Federation event right after the bomb dropping, and we'll get some more information. So here's the final piece of information. So I'm taking a look at this Hadron Collider. I'm taking a look at them moving through all these different timelines, the same thing that they did back in 2012, and I'm like, all right, cool, old school tactics, but it worked back then, but they didn't realize that they kind of stuck their foot in their mouth a little bit. Okay, so hold on. So then I asked the question, what are they looking for? What are they looking for? They're going through all of these different timelines. But why? What timeline in particular are they looking for? And literally my jaw dropped when I saw it. Before I say it, I'm just leaving you hanging on the edge of your seat. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and definitely check out the membership platform. We are going completely uncensored, you guys. My crazy, intelligent, beautiful, brilliant wife has created my own platform. It is the Netflix for EA and EA alone, which means I can say whatever I want. I can get as crazy, as wild as I want to without the censorship. I just had to take down a bunch of videos that mention the V because they're taking down accounts that mention the V. So yeah, so please, if you sign up for the YouTube membership, you will be grandfathered in to the online platform membership. So sign up for YouTube first, then we're going to slowly make the transition over the next 3 to 4 months into my own platform that is completely uncensored. All right, and share this video maybe when we hop into the timeline where things are back up again. Besides the point, what are they looking for? 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 The timeline that they were looking for to shift back into. So I wonder if I can... Okay, yes, I can. So I want to go back to my image to make it really clear. Okay, here's my image. So this is the timeline that we went down, for example, okay? This is the timeline that they're wanting us to hop into. So I want to just mention that we're not going back in time. What they're trying to do is they're trying to hop us into a parallel timeline with a different choice. So my greatest question was, what was the different choice? What were they trying to salvage? They were unable to go all the way back to 2012 during their first timeline split and correct their issues there. They were unable to do that for whatever reason. So guess who popped up? It's just gross just saying it, but Trump. It was Trump. It was Trump. They wanted to go back to the timeline where Trump was never in office. And my jaw dropped. And it kind of makes sense. Because regardless of where you're at with this man, okay? He brought about this era of questioning everything. He brought about this era of fake news. He broke down the main structure and system by being a buffoon, and probably a lot more than that, by breaking down the control of mass media. I'm going to leave it at that, all right? So, like, once again, you guys, take it or leave it, as always, but the timeline that they're trying to shift us, just kind of a parallel jump, all right, into is that. One more thing. Say, for example, we all wake up tomorrow and Trump was never in office. I forget who the other, runner-up was. Pence or so, I don't know. I don't know who else was running so out of politics, but basically that guy, that, whatever old white dude, okay, is what I'm assuming, won instead. And guess what? The system stayed the same. We wouldn't have stock market influxes. We wouldn't have all of you awakened individuals. We wouldn't have even had probably Rona or the V. We all know that Rona and the V need to happen in order to purge out the darkness and shift into the light. This snowball effect happened because he was in office. I know, it's insane. It's insane. They're trying to shift. So it's kind of like a Mandela effect. Like, for example, if they were able to shift us into that timeline, we all wake up and we're like, yeah, wasn't that weird that Trump even ran for office that one time? He would never have been the president. And then there would be one member of your family to say, are you really? Trump was never a president? Like, that's crazy. I could have sworn he was. I could have sworn there was like 4 years of chaos. And the other members of your family would be like, no, that never happened. That is the aftermath of a timeline hop collectively. That is the essence of 3D to 5D. That is also the essence of a Mandela effect. All right? Clinton. Okay, it wasn't a white man, it was Clinton. It was a woman. All right. I'm so sorry. It was a white woman. Totally just got corrected on that. Anyway, okay, cool. Another Clinton in office. That's great. Let's just all trust that the system is taken care of by the Clintons. Like, come on. So, yeah, super interesting. Thanks, Em, for that little correction. Anyway, you guys, look, I'm just a messenger. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. It is a lot to process. It's a lot going on. The best thing we can do, all right, if I were to summarize this, the best thing we can do is hold the highest frequency, get yourself out of fear, please, 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 transmute every element of your reality into unconditional love, and come together and continue. Whether you join a meditation or you join us for that bomb drop on the 11th or not, please let's all come together and unify and project unity consciousness, project unconditional love, project sovereignty for everyone. This is the time to do it. The glitches are intense. You can manifest anything you want in your own individual personal reality right now, which is great, but let's also all come together for unity, please. And the second that we all unify and feel that frequency of source, there is no stopping us. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being open-minded. I really do appreciate this community, and I appreciate the fact that I get to relay this information, and here we are. So strap in, starseeds. It is going to be a wild ride, and put it out there if you want to help in the battle. Let the GFL know that you are ready and down to help. Okay? As always, I will see all of you in the 5th dimension frequency.